Hi everyone, this is Ron Valencia, and we're going to take a look at Canticle of the Turning, number 622. So if you want to pause the video and get your gathered books, that would be fantastic. I recommend that you at least follow along with the sheet music and maybe listen for ideas at first and then try your own ideas on top of what we go over today. So at the very beginning, we're going to keep it simple, and then we're going to embellish and add more as we go along in this video. Okay, so the tune of this song is something that's very, very familiar, and it's very percussive. So it's something that you can hear acoustic guitar and a drum of some sort. It'll be a single drum, or maybe it'll be congas, whatever. I've heard it usually just guitar and hand drum. That's typically how I've heard it before, and occasionally a flute, and you know would play interspersed in there. So that's typically how I've heard it, and we're going to take it at a simple tempo, but I've kind of heard this really, really fast before. So the tempo we're going to take it is right here. Okay, so that's going to be the tempo that we're going to take it at for this lesson. And so the first thing I want you to do is think of simplicity and staying out of the way, and make sure that it doesn't come off sounding like a march. It may seem like it's kind of, I mean, it is percussive, but it may seem like it wants you to take it into a march, but probably not your best bet. I mean, you can be percussive with it, but I wouldn't make it a too strong of a march. Okay, so in keeping in mind with that, I think the first idea that I'm going to share with you is very, very simple. It's going to be quarter notes, half notes, and maybe an eighth note in there, but very, very few eighth notes in the very beginning. So keep in mind that this is in 2/2. We won't get into the theory of that, but just keep that in mind. So it kind of has the pulse of a ta ta ta, sort of like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So that's kind of the pulse that you want to think of, especially if you're doing it more up tempo. You're going to have to think of it in 2, like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That's kind of how I look at it. The half note gets one beat there. I'm not going to get too deep into that. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to play along with the track that I've recorded here, just to give you a simple, basic idea of how I would interpret this. One thing to keep in mind is the refrain is huge. It can be really, really dynamic. So even though you want to start strong and give like a good solid beat to it and a good pulse, you don't want to overdo it, so when you get to the refrain, you can really bring it up a notch. Okay, so here's going to be our first take, our first version of this, and then we're going to do it in the simplest forms. We're going to keep it mostly just quarter notes and half notes, okay? Here is take number 1. Okay, so that was keeping it very, very simple. That was, I didn't add any embellishments. I kept it all quarter notes. That's perfectly fine. I think the only thing that I would do better, probably, if I wanted to keep it simple, is maybe give a stronger pulse of that ta 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 in the very beginning. So maybe more like, okay, so maybe you want to do that and follow that melody rhythm just a little bit. You don't be married to playing the melody part, but if the cantor really wants to hear that melody to get him in, okay, if she needs that melody, give her that melody. If he wants that melody, give him that melody. All right, so let's make it a little bit more complicated now. So let's add just a little bit more to it. We're going to do this again, but I'm going to give it a little bit more of a rhythmic sense. I hope you recognize in the first take that by the time we got to the refrain, it really did grow in volume and just in style. But what if we started off a little bit more complicated? How would we do the refrain? So this is going to be take number 2. This is going to be just a slightly more than that easier version. Here we go. All right, so what I did there was add a whole lot more rhythm in there. I did a few little flourishes, nothing too extravagant, but I did a lot more with the rhythm. Okay, so the idea behind that was just to still propel the music and get everybody excited about it, and yet leave a little bit of space to breathe. Okay. Now we're going to do it a little bit more percussive and a little faster, just a touch faster. I know I told you I wasn't going to do it any faster, but I think we need to just a touch, not a whole lot, just a little bit, because I have heard this go a lot faster. And if you're playing it faster, that means you're going to have less opportunity to add a bunch of extra notes. So how would you play it? This is where the dynamics really, really come in handy. Here's a little bit faster of a version of that. I didn't hit the right tempo there. Sorry. All right, now I got it. Here we go. Oh, I didn't do it right. Sorry, my bad. There we go. Now I got it. All right, so sorry about that last chord there, but you got the right idea there, I'm sure. So obviously I went into, when it became more broad when we got into the refrain. So it was like, okay, that just kind of really hammers it home, and it gives you a little bit of flexibility. Now, what I did was in the left hand, I let the left hand drive a little bit, and the right hand kind of got out of the way. When you're doing it faster, I find that sometimes that can be an easier way. The notes don't get in the way, and they really support you, and they support the singing. So that's one idea that I would do. If you're going to take it much faster than that, then yeah, you would definitely want to do something where you can get out of the way a little bit more often. And that's why a simpler pattern in the behind that would work a little bit better. Okay, I hope that I've given you a few ideas that you can work with. Take what you need, take what you like, and make it your own, make it the right thing for you. All right, so thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe so you know when I'm adding videos to the feed here on YouTube, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye, guys.